under the blazing lights of the AT&T Center in San Antonio, a storm of anticipation swirled through the packed arena. Fans from every corner of the boxing world roared in unison, a sound that echoed like distant thunder as two unbeaten welterweight warriors prepared to collide. This wasn't just another fight. This was Knockout Kings 2, a proving ground where reputations were made and dreams were either crowned or crushed. First to make the walk was the rising American powerhouse, Keith "One-Time" Thurman, a man whose fists carried the kind of danger that ended nights suddenly, violently, and without warning. With a fearless swagger born from years inside the gym from his early teens, Thurman carried the spirit of his mentor, the late Ben Getty, into every step. He walked toward the ring not just as a fighter, but as a promise, one that said any man standing across from him was only one punch away from the end. Moments later, his opponent emerged, Diego La Hoya Chaves, the undefeated Argentine destroyer, once a soccer player, but reborn as a relentless puncher with ice-cold eyes and the stoic calm of a man who feared nothing. His record was spotless, his power undeniable, his style unapologetically aggressive. This was a man whose family lived within the world of combat sports, whose father once sparred with legends, and whose own fists carried the legacy of Argentine warriors past. As he stepped through the ropes, there was no smile, no acknowledgement of the roaring crowd, only a blank, fearless stare. Two undefeated men, only one would leave with that perfect record. The air thickened, the bell waited, and the night begged for violence. From the instant the bell sounded to open round one, both men erupted into action with a level of energy that promised chaos before calm. Thurman, eager to chin-check Chavez early, came forward confidently, snapping out jabs, mixing in sweeping hooks, and attempting to establish dominance before the Argentine could settle. But Chavez had come with his own plan, and he wasn't interested in backing down. He fired a thudding right hand early, a warning shot that didn't hurt Thurman, but forced him to acknowledge the danger. Every movement from Chavez delivered a message: "I'm here to take your crown." Their exchanges came early and often, hooks to the head, thudding shots to the ribs, counters that whistled through the air and slammed into bone. And while Thurman tried to assert himself, Chavez bit down and fired back with a ferocity that surprised even seasoned commentators. Like Sergio Martinez before him, Chavez found moments to loop left hands around the guard and dig cruelly into the body. His reach advantage allowed him to land punches from ranges Thurman struggled to read. The second round intensified further. The body shots from Chavez began to take effect, his confidence swelling as he pinned Thurman to the ropes and tested the American's resolve. Yet even battered, Thurman responded with sharp counters, especially his signature counter left hook. His footwork, often overlooked, began to play a crucial role as he circled away from danger and looked for openings. But the Argentine pressure didn't fade. Chavez marched forward relentlessly, hands heavy, intent unwavering. By the third round, the battle lines were drawn. Chavez pressure versus Thurman's precision, power versus power, heart versus heart. Every exchange poured gasoline onto an already roaring fire, turning the opening rounds into a breathtaking showcase of skill, grit, and pure boxing violence. By rounds 4, 5, and 6, the fight evolved into a tense and tactical war. Chavez, once believed to be one-dimensional, revealed surprising depth, mixing angles, slipping shots, layering feints, and coming forward behind a stubborn, unblinking poker face that never changed, even as blows thundered off his skull. He had Thurman trapped on the ropes repeatedly, punishing the ribs with left hooks and testing the American's resolve. Every thudding shot seemed to draw the air from Thurman's lungs. But champions, real champions, find ways to adapt. Keith Thurman did just that. He began stepping around danger, doubling his jab, and letting his hands go in fast combinations rather than loading up on each punch. His right hand over the top became a weapon of precision, snapping Chavez's head back and creating just enough space to escape. Still, Chavez marched on. In round 5, he surged again, applying suffocating pressure and catching Thurman with a right hand that sent a shock through the arena. Blood appeared on Thurman's nose, a reminder of the danger he was in. Yet, even hurt, he stayed calm, firing back with body shots of his own, showing the heart of a fighter raised in fire. The 6th and 7th rounds became grinding, tactical battles. Both men landed big punches, both refused to fold. Both proved why they entered the ring unbeaten. Chavez's jab grew more consistent, Thurman's movement more intelligent, their punch totals nearly identical, neither giving an inch. It was a battle of intelligence, wrapped inside a storm of violence. Each man testing the other's will, lungs, chin, and spirit. With every passing minute, the stakes rose higher. Something had to give. Someone had to break. And as the rounds wore on, the question became simple. Which undefeated man would break first? As the 8th and 9th rounds unfolded, something shifted. Though Chavez continued marching forward, jaw clenched, guard tight, eyes unwavering, the pace began to catch up with him. The relentless pressure that had defined his success early now cost him breath, movement, and reaction time. Thurman sensed it immediately. His punches flowed more freely, combinations snapping with newfound sharpness. He landed a monstrous right hand in the 7th that briefly staggered Chavez, an unsettling moment for the Argentine corner. Yet even rocked, Chavez refused to wilt. He returned fire with punishing hooks to the body, forcing Thurman to stay sharp. The fight had narrowed to razor-thin margins, each round a tug-of-war of timing and willpower. In the 9th, the drama reached boiling point. Thurman, nose still bloodied, lungs still burning, found rhythm, landing crisp jabs followed by ripping hooks. Chavez tried dragging him into another desperate exchange along the ropes, but Thurman's movement had become too slick, too evolved. Then came the shift that changed everything. A brutal left to the body from Thurman, delivered with perfect angle and torque. Chavez froze. For the first time all night, his poker face cracked. His breath vanished. His legs betrayed him. He dropped to one knee, the pain etched into his expression. This was no flash knockdown. This was a wound. Chavez rose, but he was changed. His reactions slowed. His guard opened. Thurman smelled blood. With only seconds left in the 9th, he unleashed combinations that rattled Chavez along the ropes. The Argentine survived the round, but barely. As he returned to his corner, he exhaled sharply, chest heaving, eyes fogging. The undefeated monster had finally shown weakness. Thurman had found the crack, and he was about to break it wide open. Round 10 began with a sense of inevitability. Thurman, sensing victory, came out with a calm hunger, an assassin's focus. Chavez, though trying to mask his pain, carried the weight of that 9th round body shot like an anchor tied to his ribs. His movement dulled, his punches lost snap, his eyes blinked more often, betraying fatigue and rising panic. And then Thurman attacked, cold, calculated, devastating. He pressed Chavez to the ropes, letting his hands go with ruthless precision. Body, head, every punch designed to break the last remnants of resistance. Chavez tried to answer, tried to show the heart that had carried him through 9 punishing rounds, but his body had begun to betray him. And then it came. A perfectly delivered left hook to the body, this one even crueler than the first, detonated under Chavez's elbow. The Argentine froze again, his body shutting down, his knees buckling. He crumbled to the canvas for the second time in 2 rounds. The crowd erupted. The referee began to count. Chavez tried to rise, tried to fight against the agony consuming his ribs, but his legs refused. His spirit was willing, but the body is the truth-teller in boxing, and that truth said enough. At 28 seconds of round 10, the referee waved it off. The undefeated Argentine warrior was done. Keith "one-time" Thurman had delivered the knockout he promised, the knockout he chased, the knockout that crowned him. As the announcement echoed through the arena, winner by knockout, and the new interim WBA welterweight world champion, Keith "one-time" Thurman, the crowd roared in celebration of a star being born. The night belonged to him. The belt belonged to him. The story of One Time, the rising American thunderbolt, gained another legendary chapter. And the world knew now, when Keith Thurman touches you clean, you stay down.